comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Y'all don't really want it like that. Here comes the, here comes the, here comes the. Here comes the. You ain't built for it. Spirit as a nigga can be. It's gonna sound like when I'm coming, like when I'm coming, like when I'm coming for ya. It's gonna sound like when I'm coming, like when I'm coming, like when I come for ya. It's gonna sound like.
Yo, 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 what's up, football fans? Welcome to another episode of the Blitz, number 27. I'm your host, Big C. Y'all know the co-host. You know us by now. Mike Jones. What up, Mikey?
Who?
Yeah.
Woo! Mike Jones. Just chilling, Watched some good football yesterday. A lot of the games surprised me. Yeah. Spent a whole day with no kids watching football yesterday. It's kind of nice.
That's a little bit of change of pace. No kids,
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, man. Football's really starting to get crazy. Things are really starting to. The playoff picture is becoming more and more clear. The teams that are going to compete, it feels like are starting to separate themselves. The pretenders from the contenders. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
One big game yesterday was that Philadelphia Eagles game, Philly and the Ravens. Man, is Philly on some kind of run? They looked really good yesterday. Philadelphia could be the best team in football. I know Detroit's done what they've done, but Philly's just on a roll. Like they're on a roll. And they've won 8 straight, I believe it is. Nobody's hotter. Saquon Barkley has a chance for the MVP, which is unheard of for running backs. You know what I mean? It's typically a quarterback award. There's been lots of jokes and smart ass comments made about it, saying, you might as well just turn it into the quarterback of the year award, blah, blah, blah. But Saquon has a real shot, even though I think probably Josh Allen's the favorite for that right now. But Saquon has a shot at it. He's had 8 games this year over 100 yards rushing, which is phenomenal. Another great game yesterday. It's just starting to get, things are starting to get serious. Things are starting to get real.
Absolutely. We talked about the sad part is the Ravens actually led in damn near every category except for points scored and sacks taken. The Ravens took 3 sacks to Philly's 2, and obviously the score was 24-19. But when it comes to total yards, they lost that by over 100 yards. Passing yards, they lost that by over 100 yards. Rushing yards, they lost that by about 20-something. and their third down efficiency was at 33 instead of Ravens 40. And time of possession actually went in the Ravens' favor. So, it was a good game, hard fought. Ravens keep finding ways to lose games at the end. Most of that you got to put on the kicker. I mean, it shouldn't have came down to the kicker, but he did miss 2 field goals and an extra point, which, you put 2 of those field goals up, and we're singing a different tune today about the Ravens. You know what I mean?
Well, that's
But I think
the thing. Justin Tucker's been so automatic for so long. I mean, most would consider Justin Tucker the greatest kicker of all time.
right.
He's just been so automatic. I'll give you a crazy stat. The Baltimore Ravens have 5 losses this year. In those 5 losses, they've lost by a combined 22 points. Justin Tucker has exactly missed 22 points worth of kicks in those 5 games.
Dang.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's pretty much putting all your losses on your kicker. One of the greatest kickers of all time. It's just crazy to me that out of nowhere, and this happens all the time in sports where a pitcher can't get it over the plate, or you know what I mean, or a golfer can't hit a golf ball anymore. Just out of nowhere, something you've done your whole life and have been the best in the world at doing it, maybe the best that's ever lived at doing it, and now you can't make a kick. Like,
Right.
it's more likely that you miss a kick than make a kick now. And it blows my mind. I mean, I could understand if, hey, you're an older man now, maybe you can't kick it as far. But as far as being accurate at your kicking, like, it doesn't make sense to me. But maybe he's just overthinking it. And I think he's probably in his own head. And we've all had situations like that in our lives where we've gotten in our own head and made things more difficult for ourselves than they needed to be. And I think Justin Tucker's just in a real bad spot right now. And hopefully he can figure out his way out of it. And hopefully he can do it soon, because you don't want to go into the playoffs not being able to trust your kicker. Well, how do you go to Justin Tucker, who's won you so many games and been for you, and tell him that you're going in the direction? You know what I
Right.
mean?
And it's kind of hard to try to make that kind of change at this point too. I mean, what are you gonna do? He like you said, he's one of the best to ever do it. Is he regressing? Is there a problem that he's having outside of football? Is there an issue he's have? Is he not training the same? Is he have some kind of issue that he's not telling anybody about? Like, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, I guess you can just call it a bad stant, but he's missed 10 kicks this season. I mean, that's a lot for him. So I don't know. They've
There's
needed
been
him.
years where he doesn't miss anything. You know what I mean? He's just so, like I said, so consistent, so good. And I mean, it's terrible that these big games, a Philadelphia Eagles and Baltimore Ravens game that everybody looks forward to, you don't want to see it lost and won on kicks. You know what I mean? I mean, kicking's part of the game, but nobody wants to really see that. You know what I mean? You want to see 2 quarterbacks, 2 offenses, 2 defenses battle it out, and the best team win. And
Exactly.
kicking is just kind of extra. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's terrible that the game ended like that, but I mean, kicking's part of special teams is part of football. So
I think
what can you do?
even though the Ravens led in most of the categories, I think some of that's come from garbage time. Obviously, they were down by more than 1 score until the end there, and I think the Philadelphia Eagles defense did a really good job of keeping Lamar in check, keeping him inside the pocket and containing him. And I think that was what really ultimately was the main difference. And obviously Saquon started slow. The first half wasn't really that efficient from him, but then he had a good fourth quarter, which Saquon's has been having great fourth quarters, which is when you want everybody to come on. So he won the battle of running backs yesterday. He had the 107 yards, touchdown, 10 reception yards to Henry's 82 yards, 29 reception yards, averaged about 0.3 something more per carry than Henry. But Barkley had 23 carries and Henry had 19. So, Barkley's going to stay ahead in the rushing standings, and that's what I like to see. I want to see Barkley. I want to see Barkley do something. I'd like to see him win the MVP. I think going from his previous years with the Giants and what he'd accomplished with just that team when he had nothing, and now coming to a team like Philadelphia Eagles and putting up the kind of numbers he's doing his first year, and some of the crazy highlights we've seen from him, and Jackson is MVP. He's got MVP numbers. He still had 237 yards, 2 touchdowns, 79 rushing yards. Granted, a lot of those rushing yards came at the end. But you know what? The way I look at it is when you got a team, yeah, he might have the numbers. He might have but the facts is they're losing games. They're losing games they shouldn't lose. And that's the difference for me. And Barkley's breakout year.
He's kind of showing. But he's showing. I mean, the stats are showing it's on the kicker. I mean,
yeah,
Lamar's putting them in positions to win the game, I guess, and Justin Tucker's just not holding up his end of the bargain right now. I mean, Eagles did a fantastic job keeping Lamar Jackson in the pocket.
Yep.
Lamar Jackson's not a pocket quarterback. He's not gonna go out there and beat you most times if he's got to sit there and throw from the pocket all day. That's just not his game. I mean, even Jalen Hurts on the other side, that's not Jalen Hurts' game. Jalen Hurts, 11-19, 119 yards and 1 touchdown. I mean, if you've seen those stats from a quarterback, a starting quarterback, you would think that quarterback lost.
Yeah.
11 for 19 for 118 yards and 1 score. You would have thought they probably lost. That team probably lost. But I mean, that's Jalen Hurts' game. They got a ground attack. They play stellar defense. Yeah, they got studs at the wide receiver position. They got stud at the tight end position. But this Eagles team, Vic Fangio coming over from the Miami Dolphins as defensive coordinator. He's one of the great minds in all of football when it comes to defenses. He's made tremendous strides with this defense compared to last year. This Philadelphia team is going to be a real tough game when them and Detroit end up bumping heads together. And I mean, I don't think there's a question that unless someone gets hot or a fluke happens, it's going to be the NFC Championship game is going to be Detroit and Philly.
Yeah,
that's what it's going to come down to, those two teams. And personally, I can't wait. I think it's going to be a hell of a game.
Yeah, I mean, I looked forward to the Baltimore game, and it didn't let me down. Like, it wasn't a terrible game. I mean, it wasn't as high scoring as I was expecting, but all in all, it was a really enjoyable game. I looked forward to it. I did some live streaming yesterday. I started at halftime during the first set of games and went right straight through to the Philly games. That was a game I was looking forward to, and I was definitely happy with how it went. There was a lot of good plays, a lot of missed kicks, but it was a good game. So I would love to see the Eagles go against the Lions, and that's the one I really want to see now, though.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, more good football to come. When the playoffs start, that's when all these mediocre teams that just aren't very good get out the way, and we get to watch some football at the highest level. As you could tell by the thumbnail that Mike so graciously made for the show tonight, the Buffalo Bills are the AFC East champions again. They're the AFC East champions again, unfortunately. I really thought this year was going to be different. But Josh Allen's playing at an extremely high level. He's playing the best football of his career right now. It's even more impressive that he doesn't have Stephon Diggs this year. He doesn't He doesn't have that number one target. He lost all those older heads on the defensive side of the ball. They lost Matt Milano to injury early in the season. This truly was Josh Allen. This team is Josh Allen this year, and he's just been playing out of his mind. He's, in my opinion, he's heads and shoulders above everybody else for the MVP right now. I mean, yesterday he got credited for throwing a touchdown and catching a touchdown on the same play. I
Yeah.
mean, he's just doing stuff that quarterbacks don't typically do. And he's playing phenomenal. And these Buffalo Bills are playing phenomenal. They look like a bunch of kids out there yesterday in the snow playing backyard football. You know what I mean? And the Buffalo Bills
Yeah, man.
deserve their flowers, and I got to give them to them. You know what I mean? I can't stand them. They're the rivals to my team, and it makes me even more sick that I gotta sit and watch what my team puts out there while these guys continue to have good team year after year. But they deserve their flowers. Right now, they're probably the best team in the AFC, and but Buffalo does have a history of choking it away at the end of the year. They get to them playoffs and they don't play like the same team, and I'm not saying that's going to happen, but
It's hard to argue with
history. I won't
history.
be mad.
It's hard to argue with what we've seen. This Buffalo team has looked good so many different times, and come crunch time, they choke. So, but yeah, that was a fun game too. I watched a lot of that. Looked like a bunch of kids out there playing in the snow, man. It looked cold as
Games are
hell.
always great to watch, man.
Yeah, it looked cold as hell. All them fans were there. They were getting paid $20 an hour to shovel. Like, Buffalo, that's their bread and butter, man. That's where they play. They played in that cold. They play in that cold every year. It's like that every year up there. And they still got snow coming down up there. So it's, that was a enjoyable game to watch. A lot of running, obviously, a lot of rushing yards in that game. San Francisco is just, taking a lot of hard hits that, they're already plagued by injury bug, and then McCaffrey gets hurt again. And looks like he's going to be out for the season with a PCL injury. And it's,
that's devastating. Devastating.
I mean, if they were going to the playoffs, they were saying there would be a chance he could come, but let's face it, San Francisco there's just too much for them to overcome this year. But it was definitely definitely insane. And then like you said, first quarterback in NFL history to have a passing touchdown, a rushing touchdown, and then a receiving touchdown, which was insane. Like, I don't know if you've seen the play, but it was ridiculous.
I've seen.
He got hurt early too. Hurt not his throwing hand, but he hurt his hand. And this guy, Josh Allen, is still going out there sacrificing his body for his team, jumping, diving for that pylon, gets the touchdown. Like, that was my favorite play of the whole game. I give it to the Niners. They tried to fight, but the defenders, they just couldn't. Defense couldn't get their stance. They couldn't come out of their stances. They were slipping around. It was hard to move left to right. You were either going straight up and back, or that was it. And it was a tough time for San Francisco, but they stayed out there and dealt with it. And unfortunately, right now the better team won. So, give a shout out to the Josh Allen and them Buffalo Bills, looking like they had a good time yesterday. And them Bills Mafia, them fans out there, they were excited, throwing some snow everywhere. So, good for them.
People that go out there shirtless and shit, I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, for real.
It'd be cold, bro. It'd be cold. The San Francisco team, I don't know where they go from here. I've heard rumblings that Kyle Shanahan's job could be in danger. I think that's kind of crazy considering how I think he's done a great job with the San Francisco 49ers. I mean, he's got Super Bowl appearances. Typically, they're one of the top teams in the NFC annually. He just had so many injuries this year that it's you just couldn't overcome them. They continue to pile up. I mean, Brandon Ayuk's been out since I don't even know what week he went out, but he's missed so many games. Christian McCaffrey just came back a few weeks ago, and now he's on the shelf. Deebo Samuel's missed time. I'm pretty sure the George Kittle's missed time.
Yeah, he missed week 11.
Quarterback missed. What's that?
Kittle missed week 11 with the Seahawks with a hamstring. Deebo Samuel, he had tried to play with pneumonia, had an ankle sprain, rib oblique issues. Brandon Ayuk was week 7, lost to the Chiefs, out with the ACL surgery. Yeah, it's just a lot for them to overcome. So why, I don't understand that either. Why would you I don't even see why the coach would be on the hot spot. It's not like he's out there making bad calls or anything. This has nothing to do with him. He can't do nothing about people getting injured. It happens. This is a physical contact sport. You can't base their season this year on whether he's going to have a job or not. So I'd agree with you there.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous. I mean, the only thing I could see is maybe they think that. I mean, if they haven't won the Super Bowl with the team that they've had, maybe he just can't do it. You know what I mean? Because they've had a stacked team many a years, and they just haven't gotten over. I mean, they've gotten to the Super Bowl, but they haven't gotten over the Patrick Mahomes hump. You know what I mean? And
right,
that's a big hump to get over.
It is.
Patrick Mahomes is a great player, and
this could have been the year though, because I tell you, Kansas City, even though their record doesn't show, they're not the same Kansas City from the last 2 years. You can just
absolutely not. They're not.
You know, it's never been like this. You talk about mainly how they play down to teams. Yeah, they might do that to a certain extent, but they just don't have the team that they've had the last few years. So the fact that they're 11-1 right now is a shocker to me, and we've witnessed it. Some of it was luck, some of it was the other team just couldn't close it out, and gives Patrick and Chiefs a chance. Their record could be a lot different right now. Let's just say that. So,
it definitely could. I mean, but there was times last year that people talked the same way about the Chiefs because they didn't have someone that could even catch the ball last year. Like they struggled with the receivers couldn't catch a cold, bro. Like the only person they had was Travis Kelce catching the ball. Everybody else was dropping everything, and people counted Pat out last year. And when the playoffs come, he just turns into something different, something super special, and he's hard to beat. And if they can keep
it all out on the field,
if they can keep that first position in the AFC, and you got to go to Kansas City in January and February, like that's not an easy place to play neither. Miami went there last year, was -7. People got extremities cut off, their fingers cut off and shit from catching. You know what I mean? Like, so Kansas City's definitely not an easy place to go in and win again. Especially, I mean, Patrick Mahomes has almost became this mythical figure. You know what I mean? Like he's just such a special talent. And
it's like he's got another gear. It's like he comes out and he'll play at an elite level, but then when he needs to kick it into a elite plus, he just somehow manages to do it. And he's definitely a special player. I mean, I enjoy watching Patrick play. Like I said, it has nothing to do with just him. It's just I don't feel that they have the team this year. I don't think it's going to be Kansas City getting their three-peat. That's for sure. Not based on what I've seen lately.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still too early. I mean, I'm never gonna bet against Patrick Mahomes. He's just, I just can't bet against him. I mean, if you still put up all the teams that are the top teams in the AFC, am I gonna pick Pittsburgh or am I gonna pick the Chiefs in Kansas City in the playoffs? I'm gonna go with the Chiefs.
Right.
If you're talking about Baltimore coming to Kansas City, I'm gonna pick the Chiefs.
Right.
And if you pick Buffalo coming to Kansas City, I'm definitely picking the Chiefs. Because, like I said, we've seen this story before where Patrick Mahomes gets beat up by Josh Allen in the regular season, and Josh can't finish the job. The Buffalo Bills franchise as a whole has never been able to finish the job.
Mhm.
There's multiple lost Super Bowls in a row. Boy, I love losing Super Bowls. It doesn't come from nowhere.
I'll agree. I'll agree with the Steelers. I'll agree with the Ravens, but Buffalo, I think Buffalo is on a different level this year. I know it's been said multiple times before, but they just seem to be clicking, and barring some injuries that pop up, I really think Buffalo could go into KC and take it from them. I don't know. You see, like Josh Allen is amazing. I see a different Josh Allen this year. It's just like he's focused and he's out there and making plays and he's having a good time doing it.
He is, but he knows when playtime's over and he knows who daddy is. You know who daddy is.
Well,
now come on, Josh. Come sit on this lap. Come on. You know what time it is.
I
It's
think
playoff
Josh Allen,
football time. Come on.
I think he's looking to change that narrative this year. I really do.
Well,
yeah.
narratives ain't so easily changed as my Miami Dolphins found out
Oh,
this
cold
past
weather.
week.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey,
Yeah.
it could happen.
I mean, the good news is the only advantage KC would have is home field. I mean, if it's cold, it's cold. Buffalo does cold. So, I mean, that's really the only advantage they have is home field advantage, which is a big deal. It is really in the playoffs. You know, it's
That's
crazy.
not the only advantage.
What do you think? What do you think the other advantage is?
They got the better quarterback.
Oh, stop it! Stop it!
They got the better quarterback.
Stop it! I mean,
They got the better coach.
Yeah, I can see that.
Arguably, they got the better defense.
Arguably, I mean, I don't know.
They got the better weapons.
We shall see.
So I mean, Kansas City got. I mean, we will see. We shall see. So I was keeping tabs on the AFC playoff picture yesterday because my Miami Dolphins, of course, couldn't handle their business on Thanksgiving, and we lost. So these goddamn Atlanta Falcons that I knew I couldn't trust, they had the Chargers beat yesterday. The Chargers tried to give them the game. Kirk Cousins interception. Kirk Cousins interception. Kirk Cousins interception. Kirk Cousins interception. Every single time. Like, just take the game, Kirk. Take the game. No, they couldn't take the game, so they still sit at 4 losses, so that doesn't help.
Yep. Got the Broncos and Browns tonight.
Let me stop. I got the Broncos play tonight. Hopefully they catch a loss. It's not looking too promising against the Cleveland Browns, but hey, Cleveland surprised us last week. Let me start by saying this. I want to apologize to Russell Wilson a little bit in the Pittsburgh offense because I mean I still don't. I was rough on them last week, and rightfully so, though. Rightfully so. But they showed me that they're able to put up. They're able to have a big game. Do I trust them to come out and perform like that on a weekly basis? No. But they came out and Cincinnati's got a horrible defense. But I didn't think that they had the talent and the capability to keep up with Cincinnati's offense.
Yep.
And I was wrong.
Why we both picked.
I was wrong. But Cincinnati got themselves eliminated.
We didn't give them enough credit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it wasn't me giving them enough credit or I gave too much credit to a Cincinnati defense because their defense is horrible. Absolutely horrible. You know, I want to take another second is that I was sitting there watching this game, the Cincinnati-Pittsburgh game, and all this elite quarterback talk. Elite quarterback. Even, you know, and I was thinking about my quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa. And Tua Tagovailoa is not an elite quarterback. He's just not.
Right.
He's not. Elite is Patrick Mahomes. Elite is Josh Allen. I'd even say Lamar Jackson. But even Lamar Jackson, I mean, look what was done to Lamar Jackson yesterday. You keep him in the pocket, he becomes very average.
Right.
So elite's almost like you don't have flaws. Like, I don't think Pat Mahomes has flaws as a quarterback. I don't think Josh Allen has flaws as a quarterback. But I feel like they're the only two quarterbacks that are really elite. So
The two solid
say
standouts.
you got to go find a quarterback that's elite to be able to win a Super Bowl in this league. I can't listen to that anymore because everybody says Joe Burrow's elite. Joe Burrow's this great quarterback, but Joe Burrow has the same things going against him as that Tua does. First off, Joe Burrow has missed more games than Tua in his NFL career.
Mhm.
Joe Burrow has missed more games of injury in his career than Tua has. Joe Burrow hasn't beat a winning team this year. All Cincinnati's wins are against losing teams this year. People were talking about the Cincinnati team being a Super Bowl team this year. And look where they're sitting. And then with your season on the line, you're getting strip sacked, intercepted, like not playing at a high level. Why is Joe Burrow on this pedestal? Yes, I understand. His second year in the league, he came in and he took Cincinnati to the Super Bowl. He did. He had a great year that year. But since then, what have you done that makes you elite? What does Joe Burrow do that makes him elite? Because you do the same things Tua does. But
Right.
Tua's down here and you're up here. And I just don't. Yes, do you have more potential than Tua? Yeah. I guess, yeah. But as far as performance-wise, I don't think you're elite. And I don't see any other quarterbacks besides Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen that are elite quarterbacks.
Right.
And you can't tell me that only two teams had the opportunity to win a Super Bowl. So therefore, the Jared Goff led teams, the Jalen Hurts led teams, the Jordan Love led teams, all these teams that don't have elite quarterbacks, you tell me they can't win a Super Bowl, that they might as well just pack it up and go home?
That's not even the case. I don't think that's the case. The way I look,
just had to vent that a little bit because I'm so sick and tired of hearing the criticism on my quarterback. And lots of it is justified. Don't get me wrong. Lots of it is
Right.
justified. But keep it fair. Keep it 100. Keep it official. Give the
Right.
same criticism to everyone.
Everybody, yeah.
It's deserving.
See, I got a different, like, when I think elite, I think end of the game, I don't want to give the ball to that quarterback. If every time you're like, oh, like Tom Brady, you did not want to give Tom Brady the ball, even if it was 30 seconds left in the game. Patrick Mahomes, you don't want to give him the ball, whether there's 30 seconds in the game. Josh Allen, you don't want to give him the ball, and it's the same. That's the way I kind of look at elite. There's a lot like Joe Burrow. You could say, oh, well, I don't even think that. I don't think, oh, I don't want to give Joe Burrow the ball because I don't consider him on that level. So I mean, I look at elite differently. And elite to me
Well,
is
I mean,
when
I'm just saying most people put him up in that category. They'll name 4 or 5 quarterbacks. Justin Herbert, for instance. They'll throw him up there because you're such a physically gifted athlete that they throw you in this.
They're great.
Category.
They're great quarterbacks. They're great quarterbacks. But when you got a quarterback that no matter the situation, his roster, what he's got going on around him, if he's missing a wide receiver, if he's missing a running back that can take you down and still win you the game, that's elite. These guys
Are they great? Are they even great quarterbacks though?
I don't know if they're great. I mean, you kind of got to call them something. I mean, they got to be somewhat great. I mean, how many people get
Why
to
can't
play
they
in the
just be good?
How many people in the NFL get to play at that level, get to be a starting quarterback? Some are going to be elite, some are going to be great, and then you're going to have, your
I think they're
average.
just good. I just think they're good.
You just think they're
Why can't they
good?
just be good?
Yeah,
I
I don't
think
think
Josh
I don't
Allen's great. I think Patrick Mahomes is great.
right.
I don't think Joe Burrow's great. I don't think Justin Herbert's great. I don't think
Yeah,
Jalen
I'd
Hurts
say
is great. I don't think CJ Stroud is great.
yeah, I'd say good quarterbacks that can have explosive games. It's not a worry every single week. You're always going to worry when these guys come because they can put up numbers, but the thing is they don't put up numbers like that every single week. They don't find ways to win every single week. But what Patrick does with his roster, and like I said, his team's getting worse and worse by the year, but he still goes out, and you still sit there and you still worry about giving him that ball. That's elite. That's Tom Brady. That's you can't argue greatness. You can't argue these guys that go to repeat Super Bowls. That's elite. That's special. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't think some of them quarterbacks that they try to say are great quarterbacks, I don't really think they're great either. I think they're really good. I wouldn't mind having them be a quarterback on my team, but I'm not sitting there going, oh, I don't want to give him the ball at the end of the game because we're probably going to lose if he gets it. And that's the biggest difference in my mind.
Like I said, they just are always giving Tua some crap about stuff. And like Joe Burrow had an opportunity to go down and tie the game, keep his team season alive. Beat the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday, and he just didn't perform to that level. And he's got a bunch of talented receivers. He's got weapons. The defense is the problem, not the offense. And you couldn't make something happen. I just don't see him as elite.
Well, yeah,
so right now we got the playoff. Let's take a look at the playoff picture. Right now we got the division leaders. We got the Kansas City Chiefs in the West. We got the Houston Texans in the South, who
Steelers
are very unimpressive. We got the Pittsburgh Steelers in the North, and we got the Buffalo Bills in the East. Right now, the wild card teams are the San Diego Chargers and the Denver are the Ravens and the Broncos.
Yep.
And the Broncos. So that's your 7, and then in the hunt is in the 8th seed is the Indianapolis Colts, who are 2 games back of the Broncos, and then right behind them is my lowly Miami Dolphins, who the Indianapolis Colts had the tiebreaker over. Now the Miami Dolphins aren't completely eliminated yet. Some of these teams still have some tough games. But it's looking pretty bleak. I really need this Denver Broncos team to lose tonight, but like I said, it's probably a long shot. And then in the NFC, we got in the West. Who's leading the West right now? Seattle?
Seattle 7-5, yeah.
Seattle. In the South, is Tampa. Did Tampa win yesterday?
NFC South is Atlanta's in first with 6-6.
What's Tampa's record?
Tampa's 6-6 too. They're number 2. Yeah, yep.
Yeah,
which is
I don't
crazy.
have no faith in it. I don't have faith in Atlanta. Like I think Tampa's gonna end up taking that away from them. But right now it's Atlanta. But in the East you got the Eagles, and in the North you got the Detroit Lions.
Yep.
And then I'm pretty sure Washington's one of the wild card teams. Green Bay is one of them, in Minnesota, correct?
Correct.
Is there any? Do you think that the teams that are currently in are all making it, or do you see someone sneaking back in and stealing a spot from someone?
Between the NFC South in Atlanta and the Bucks, same record, whatever. Atlanta's up and down, but at the same time, you got Tampa Bay. They almost lost last night in overtime. Like they could have lost that game. Just like I try to give guys props. Like I like watching Baker play. I think he does good. Like I thought when Mike Evans came back, I thought it would be different, but they're still fighting to win it at the end.
Yeah.
So that concerns me too. So with Atlanta being up and down, I say that the NFC South is going to be it's up for grabs. I mean, that's whoever's gonna lock it down and get the most wins, and obviously the Bucks have to come up with an extra win just because they have the.
We'll call it. Who's going? Who's winning that South?
I like the Bucks. Atlanta we've been saying it 6 weeks or so. Atlanta is just so inconsistent. And the one thing I can say about the Bucks is they are there at the end. Baker has the Bucks there at the end of games. So I'm going to say the Bucks take the South. I'm saying the Bucks squeak in and Atlanta's going to take a ride. That's what
I mean, like I said, the Chargers gave Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons opportunity after opportunity after opportunity and just ugly interceptions. They weren't even good passes, bro. Just ugly interceptions. And then it looks like, he had thrown 3 interceptions and it was like, all right, they're still driving down the field with a chance to win the game. Still a chance to win the game. He throws the pass, hits Drake May perfectly, like at the 10-yard line. This guy just lets it fall down in between his arms, between his legs. Bro, I was so sick because I needed them to win so badly. Because that would have been a huge loss because they still got some tough games to play. You know what I mean? And
yes, sir.
I know it's stupid, and my Miami Dolphins, even if they make the playoffs, aren't doing nothing, but I still have this little glimmer of hope to make football exciting and fun for me, that my Miami Dolphins can still contend and compete and hopefully make it to the playoffs. But man, it's looking ugly. It's looking real ugly right now. But I like Tampa too. I think Tampa's going to get in.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, barring some massive letdowns, I mean, 8, 9, and 10 spot that are just outside the playoffs are all 6-6, and the Commanders have an 8-5 record. That's other than the Seahawks at 7-5, which they're going to take first place, so that doesn't even matter. I don't see much moving unless Tampa comes in, really.
Well, Washington really surprised me yesterday. I mean, they had been struggling, and they came out and from the beginning, they jumped out and jumped on their necks. And
yeah,
Jaden Daniels had a very good game yesterday. Really impressed me because he had definitely had taken a step back. So I was very impressed with that. But yeah, I'm still a little nervous about Washington. If they hit any more hiccups in the road, any more bumps in the road, they got to be careful of the Cardinals and was it the Cardinals and the Rams?
Yeah, Cardinals and Rams.
Yeah, but I mean, if I had to bet, I'd probably say that Washington holds on to it. And then over in the AFC, man,
it
has a lot to do with it. If Denver wins tonight, I'm gonna say that they stay the same. If Denver loses, I'm gonna say that if Denver loses, I'm gonna say that the Miami Dolphins sneak in. If Denver loses tonight, I'm gonna say Miami Dolphins sneak in. Because the Miami Dolphins have the rest of their games are very winnable. But if Denver wins, it's just going to be, I think it'll be too much for them to overcome.
I mean, yeah, I'd have to agree. The AFC is, I think you have more of an opportunity for shuffling teams in and out. I think the NFC is pretty well set other than, like I said, the Tampa or whatever. You got three AFC West teams right now that would go to the playoffs. And then you got 3 NFC North teams that would go to the playoffs, which is kind of crazy. The Vikings have somehow managed to keep off the bottom of your list that you made a while back.
I mean, flowers of Sam Darnold. Listen, if I'm wrong, I'll admit that I'm wrong. Sam Darnold, I thought he would eventually fall apart because, like I said, I go by what I see, and so many times I've seen Sam Darnold fall apart. Another funny thing is that I heard the Jets might be interested in bringing Sam Darnold back. If I was Sam Darnold, I'd tell him hell no. Like you shit on me and you threw me away when you put no team around me to support me, and you threw me away and act like I was the problem.
Not even that.
But
You want to go to a dysfunctional New York Jets organization? I mean, look at what they look at the Jets, what they did, just how their year has been, and the nonsense they've went through this year. And I was pissed. I was watching the Jets game and they were winning, and I'm like, and they looked like they were going to take it easy, and I'm just like, I literally sat here on stream and said, I will not pick the damn Jets another time this year. And I'm like, if they win, I'm gonna be so pissed. But then,
well, they were kind of smoking Indy for a bit. They was winning by quite a bit for a while. And then they just, Aaron Rodgers picked 6 to a defensive lineman, a 290-pound defense. Like, come on, bro. Like, Aaron Rodgers don't have it no more. Matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, tune in this weekend. You'll be able to witness Aaron Rodgers' last start in the NFL as he goes up against the Miami Dolphins. And I promise you that after this weekend, he won't be the quarterback for the New York Jets anymore. And I don't see any team wanting to bring the Aaron Rodgers headache. Do you see any team next year being like, yeah, let's go get Aaron and his whole posse of friends that want to come to and deal with the headache that is Aaron Rodgers for the amount of it's not worth it anymore.
No, the proof is in what we've witnessed this year. We probably would have seen it. We might have seen it last year if he didn't get injured. But he's gotten everything he's wanted. He's cried. He acts like a little baby. He doesn't take a lot of responsibility. He holds his head up like he's still better than everybody. But you ain't doing nothing. You're not leading your team. You're not taking your team down and winning these games. You're not doing what you said you were going to do if they brought you in. They begged, they wanted you to come. They fly you out. They do all these things. They give you a coach that you want. They give you a receiver you want. You got a decent running back in the backfield. I mean, he was set up. They gave him everything he wanted. Nobody in their right mind in any other organization is going to sit there and put themselves through the same thing, especially for him. He's old. He's getting old. You can see he's getting old. He was missing passes. And then I can't say it was all on him yesterday because there was quite a few passes I seen that were dead on and receivers just couldn't pull them in. But there was still, on the other side of that, there was still a lot of, he way overthrew a guy in the corner. Like, you're an NFL quarterback. You can't overthrow a wide open guy in the corner of the end zone. And he overthrew him by like 4 or 5 yards. Like, it wasn't even close. And there's no other if another organization takes Aaron Rodgers and picks him up next year, I will never talk about Aaron Rodgers again, because I know one thing's for sure. If I was an organization, I'm not dealing with the headache. I'm not doing it.
There's no way. There's no way that a team does. I don't care how badly you need a quarterback. There's no way that a team is like, I'm going to take on that headache that is Aaron Rodgers. I'm going to let Aaron Rodgers in my door, poison the rest of my franchise for a mediocre quarterback. And that's what Aaron Rodgers has become, a mediocre, maybe I wouldn't even necessarily say above average, an average mediocre quarterback. He's not worth it. Aaron needs to hang him up. He should have never left Green Bay. He should have retired from Green Bay. He had nothing left. He hasn't loved football in a long time.
Yeah.
And the fact that he still had enough left in his body to get by and still perform at a decently high level, that it didn't matter that he didn't love football the same way. But now that his body is starting to catch up, age is starting to take its toll on Aaron, the fact that he doesn't love football anymore it's just came to the forefront. And it's sad because any legend, it's sad, and it makes you think of great memories you've had watching that player. Because I mean, if you're like me as a sports fan, I mean, maybe I've never been a fan of the team that Aaron Rodgers been on, but I respect players, and I can be a fan of a player. You know what I mean? I'm a fan of Aaron Rodgers' game. He was a fantastic quarterback. I mean, besides Dan Marino, he is the greatest thrower of the football that I have ever seen. And that doesn't mean he's the greatest quarterback of all time. I mean, people can have their arguments. Tom Brady, you know what I mean? Tom Brady's the greatest winner we've ever seen. Is Tom Brady
Right.
the greatest talent at quarterback? I wouldn't say that. Tom Brady's the greatest winner we've ever seen.
Right.
Patrick Mahomes probably has the greatest arm talent that we've ever seen. But as far as just a thrower of the football, a perfect release, accurate, strong arm quarterback, it's Dan Marino and Aaron Rodgers for me. And so it's going to be sad to see him go, but it's time.
It's even worse to sit there and watch a quarterback that you have appreciated watching sit there and instead of just retiring and going out on some sort of high, hey, it's time, but to sit there and make a mockery at the end of your career. Because that's what everybody's going to sit there and think about. That's what everybody's going to be like, well, he was great. He had this amazing talent to be able to throw a Hail Mary, and he was, like you said, he's a great quarterback. He could throw the ball really well. But now when I'm thinking about Aaron Rodgers, all I'm thinking about is the Jets debacle. You know what I mean? He goes in, he gets hurt the first year, then he comes out and he's whining, wants everything he wants, and still can't perform. And that's what I think about now. And that's not. He doesn't deserve that. He doesn't deserve me to think about that. But at the same time, he put himself in that position. Sometimes you just gotta, when you know it's it, you gotta know it's it. You can't sit there and keep pushing. You're not a young guy anymore. You're hitting that limit. Time's up.
Well, I mean, his legacy is definitely going to take a hit from this Jet situation. I think over time, people will forget about it eventually, and they'll just remember the good times in Green Bay. But at first, people are going to remember it, and his legacy is definitely going to take a hit.
Yeah.
But yeah, tune into the Miami Dolphins and Jets game. You get to witness Aaron Rodgers' final moments as an NFL quarterback, because we are going to stomp the shit out of them scumbag ass Jets. So, yeah. Oh, I'd like to address. We're going to, starting January 1st, we're going to do like a little mini relaunch of the channel. And we're going to have some improvements. There's going to be more segments, specialized segments, and more of a organized. The channel's going to have a more of an organized feel. We're going to hopefully get some of the things we've been lacking on straightened out, and add a few more pieces, and hopefully give you an even better show. So January 1st, New Year's Day, it'll be a Wednesday, so that episode of the Blitz. Also that day, make sure you're live 8 p.m. Eastern time, because if you're live in the chat and a subscriber, you will have a chance to win $1,000. $1,000. So make sure you tune in, because since we're relaunching and making some improvements, we're going to give out $1,000. $1,000 cash for you. For you, all you got to do is tune in and be a subscriber.
Like, share, comment, subscribe.
Yeah.
What's an hour of your day? Hour of your day. Hour of your day, ladies and gentlemen. For real. Well, since he's taken a second, I'm going to say right now, the pick numbers are in. And I've had my best week. I know me and Big C were I know he picked Baltimore to go against me with Philly, and he picked the Pats to go against me with Indy.
Right there, folks. $1,000.
Right there. So this week, I went 10-1, and Big C went 8-3. Bring in bringing our grand total up to my total is 53-25, and Big C is 55-23. It's going to come down to crunch time.
Yeah, it's gonna get
It's going to
close.
come down. It's going to be close.
Who would like some new dollars for the new year?
Yeah, get you that gym membership. Go get you some workout clothes.
Or some cupcakes.
Prostitutes on the corner. I don't care what you spend it on. Just show up, like,
tune in.
subscribe. Yeah.
Tune in for your chance.
It ain't our
December
business.
1st, 8 p.m. Be there.
4B. Square. That's square, in case you didn't know.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go check out some of this Broncos game. Thank you. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share. See, we're not bullshitting. We give out free gifts, free prizes, chance to win some dollars. Everybody likes dollars. I like dollars. You like dollars? I like dollars.
Yes, sir.
We have no comments tonight, but that's okay.
Well, Cleveland game is
also, we're gonna just start doing the Blitz. The Blitz is gonna be strictly on the Game Changers media.
Yeah.
Because what's happening is the show's not really hitting the algorithm because so many people are watching it from the same video is getting split 3 times, and one will have 50 views, one will have 19 views. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. So all your Game Changers and the Blitz will be right here on the Game Changers media. Finn Posse will be on Finn Posse podcast, and Gridiron Giants, your New York Giants material will be on Gridiron Giants. So there is that. There is that. But I wanted to make that announcement. I didn't want to just do it to you. So probably starting Wednesday, we'll just Game Changers media. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, we gotta get some Christmas shopping done. I hope you've all been naughty and not nice and not naughty.
Oh yeah, I hope you all been naughty. Rawr.
I've been a bad boy.
Hit me up. Hit me up, baby. I need a spanking.
That bad boy. I don't want no cold in my stocking. I want $1,000. Big C and Mike Jones.
Then he wants a jug of
All we gotta
basketball.
do is tune in and be a subscriber.
January 1st, 8 o'clock on the Blitz.
The Blitz.
The Blitz.
The Blitz.
Yeah, man. Good show. Good football. Thanks, everybody, for kicking it with us here on the Blitz. As usual, we love y'all. We would appreciate more like, subscribe, and comments. Share. Tell your friends. All we do, we're real fans talking football. We sit here, we do all our own research. We sit here and spend a lot of time just getting all this info out there to shoot it to y'all. We just like to talk. Our platform is for us and our fans to be able to come on and say what they feel. As long as you're not vulgar, you're not coming on here, talking a craziness, we will allow you to come on, share your voice, your opinions, and we will talk to you about those things. So don't be shy. Reach out if you want to come on. We will figure something out. We won't hate on anybody, because I know some of these other channels, they get a certain way and they don't have nobody on unless they get something out of it. So, keep in mind, this is by fans for the fans. Game Changers Media. This is for you guys.
This is only fans.
This is only fans. The Blitz. This week on the Blitz, it smells like blood and Vaseline.
Don't I have a sexy thumb? Oh yeah, you like the way it moves?
Don't let this wall behind you confuse you.
Look at that arch. Yeah, you like that arch? Oh yeah, it's nice. Oh yeah. Oh.
Well.
But anyway, we're gonna get out of here. Thanks for viewing. Thanks for being a part of the
Blitz family.
Game Changers Media in the Blitzins. We're gonna call our fans the Blitzins.
The Blitzins. Welcome to the show, Blitzins. I don't know. Maybe we'll work on that.
Yeah, we'll work on that.
We'll figure it out.
But anyway, like, subscribe, comment, share, and we'll see you Wednesday. Much love to you.
Love y'all.
Peace.